information of any presence of the Pakistani army as of now.
Okay, all right, stay on with me. Ajay, let's actually, describe this entire video that is playing on your screens, and if we can take a look, point by point, image by image, what has happened. This video that has been released by the Baloch Liberation Army, there is in fact aerial shots that have been able to capture this explosion and the hostage situation that the passengers find themselves in. So here's a look. This is the Jaffar Express train. This train was traveling from Quetta to Peshawar, and during this entire journey, in the middle, there has been this explosion that has been orchestrated by the Baloch Liberation Army terrorists. There are more than 400 passengers that are on board Jaffar Express train that has at this point of time been captured by the terrorists. Let's take a look at this picture number 2. And this picture number 2 actually shows the BLA terrorists. Clearly, on the left hand side of your screen and on the right hand side of your screen, all these passengers have been asked to get down from the train, and a handful of these BLA terrorists that have arms and ammunition with them have orchestrated this entire hostage situation. Let's take a look at the third pictures, and like I said, on the left hand side and on the right hand side, there are over 100 passengers that have been spotted, that were asked to step off the train from their bogies. Again, another picture, if you take a look at a large number of these people, it looks like there is a huge cluster, about 400 people traveling on that train. They've been asked to step down on gunpoint, and they have been pulled out of the train. Here's a look at the BLA terrorists. Where was their position? How were they able to track this train? Because this was a well planned out, premeditated operation that was conducted, that was orchestrated by the Baloch Liberation Army. They knew exactly the time the train was going to cross the railway tracks between Quetta and Peshawar, and they have stationed themselves on the higher hill points of the mountains surrounding that scenery. So therefore, they were able to then spot the train in time, arrive at the railway tracks beforehand, explore the railway tracks, stop the train still, and then pull out the hostages. Let's take a look at picture number 2. This is the explosion that took place. Now, this explosion is large enough, it's huge enough, it's explosive and strong enough that the first bogie of the train was completely destroyed. Remember, we are getting information that this is an IED blast that was orchestrated, conducted by the Baloch terrorists. Here's a look at the impact. The first impact, there's a plume of smoke, black smoke that is surrounding the first bogie and the adjacent bogie and the railway engine as well. So this gives you an idea, a fair idea of what went on yesterday evening when news broke out that there were 400 plus passengers that had been held captive by the Baloch terrorists. Okay, joining me on the telecast right now is Sumit Peer. Sumit, let's hear it from you. A tragic development, this tragedy that has taken place yesterday, the fact that the Baloch Liberation Army has taken law in its own hands, a terror attack where civilians have been held captive, they have been targeted.
Megha, thanks for having me on your show. Basically, there was a meeting which was done by all the warring factions of Balochistan, the militants, and it is called, then they announced an organization called Baloch Raji Ansol Sanghar. And around 5 days back, they came with a press release and they had warned government of Pakistan about these targeted attacks. The train which was targeted basically carries people from Pakistan Army, Pakistan military, ISI, police, and the anti-terror squads. This train was going from Quetta to Punjab because it's the month of Ramzan, and they were traveling with their families for the holiday, possibly for the Eid. So when the train was intercepted, the families were let go. Only the people who are mainly in the train, 90% or more, 99% of them are the people who work for the Pakistani military, who work for the Pakistani army. And let me tell you another two important things which happened. There's not a gentleman, there's a person called Shamsad Shalsudani. This Shamsad Shalsudani was the designated head of death squad of Pakistani army, which used to operate in Balochistan, and their job was to abduct, kill, rape, and torture Balochis. He was eliminated a couple of days back. Before that, there's one more person called Mufti Shamir. Mufti Shamir is the person who abducted Kulbhushan Yadav from Iran and gave him to Pakistan army, and they portrayed the image of raw spy and all that. He was again eliminated by unknown gunman. So this
No, but
attack of
let's
BLA
let's
was
make
a
this
part of
very clear. Whichever way we look at it, whatever